Are you guarding? Thank you. So, guys, are you leaving? Oh, such a weenie. So, what? What are you doing? This is the nougat. Come here. Come this way. Protector. I'm gonna put a camera on you one day. Just let you run. Protector of all things, baby. You guys all know Nugget from the soap videos. She likes to say hi when I turn on the camera. So, Max, sit. Stay there. She wanted to come with me, otherwise she wouldn't be down here. You're just gonna make this video longer. I know, stay there though. So, chickens are at a big enough size and the weather is now cooperating. Hey, you don't, no, you don't get hugs for misbehaving. So we're going to go outside and prep the coop, which is the large chicken coop area, so I can get them outside. That'll give them about 10 days. We're expecting to have 7 to 10 days of nice weather. Warm weather, it's gonna be rainy, but anything's better than snow. So we're gonna get them outside, get them in the big coop, but I gotta go set all that back up. We have a system that we use, so this is our in-house system if this is your first video with us. And you can go back and watch my shorter video I did, feels like weeks ago. I didn't show how I built this, but this is the system. Plastic on the floor, well, diatomaceous earth on the floor, plastic on top of the DE, generic wood frame that I built from leftover pieces and parts. It's just a 4 foot by 4 foot square, 8 to 10 inches high, I don't remember. This is 1 by 2 or 2 by 3, just straight like green covered garden fence, heat lamp, chicken fence, chicken wire on the outside. I didn't realize I just rebuilt this. So originally this was the whole build was just the box. They're not a real T-post, they're like a super lightweight T-post that's holding the corners, and just standard issue chicken fence or chicken wire, which is this kind of like shaped wire that stretches really well. So it was only this tall. They were flying out everywhere, getting all over the floor. So I tried to mix and match some stuff on top to keep them from escaping the top. Because once they get out, they poop, and once they poop, more maintenance. So inside we have sand, about 4 inches of sand or so, and then we have wood shavings that I just let the chickens turn up. I keep adding dry shavings to the top, let them churn that in, and it turns into kind of like soil. So essentially all the water wicks away down to the sandy area where it can dry and evaporate out versus laying on top and being really gross. But now we're at a stage. We've ordered 25. And like I said, I didn't mean it in a derogatory way. That's what we call everything. It's the redneck. Look, I'm a redneck. I come from, don't be offended, any of my family, from plain white trash redneck in a tiny little town in Ohio. So I said we got the redneck white trash chicken starter kit. It's just where we purchased them from. I can't remember which, if it was Myers, I think it was Myers or Murray McMurray. But they have what they call a brown egg layer mix. And that's the cheapest option to buy if you're not looking for super expensive or fancier birds. Now we've purchased fancy birds in the past, some cool Orpingtons, some, I don't know, some green eggs, whatever she wants. And I never remember the chickens, to be honest, not like the goats. But we have some fancy chickens out there, nothing that look fancy, but they sound fancy. And some of them lay blue eggs, some of them lay green eggs. These ladies should all be brown egg layers. Yes, even the white ones. So when I say that just means this is like the super cheap. They just grab some chicks from all the bins, put them in a box, and mail them to your house. But they do give you a variety. As you can see, we have several different kinds of chickens in here. But they have reached the age where they've definitely outgrown this area. Probably would have had them out last week, like I said, except for the weather. So Elliot came through and wreaked havoc on the entire East Coast. So they had to stay in here for a few more days. And now they are, well, to be fair, I'll have to look at it, but I don't think I've ever taken them out when they were already this size. So they're gonna go out in the chicken coop, and I would normally leave them in there. I'd normally take them outside sooner, and they would have more time to grow out in the coop versus in the house. And that time is also not a bonding time, but chickens are savage. If you don't know that, you're like, oh, cute little cuddly chickens. Chickens are freaking straight savage. I have watched them stomp out babies and eat their guts. No joke. They do not play. And if a bunch of them take a dislike to one of them, or if one of them starts stomping out a baby, they'll all just come over. It's almost like an instinct. The first time we ever got chickens, just after we built the house in 17, they found a snake. We had, I think, 24 chickens. Oh, hi, baby. And one of them found a snake, just a tiny snake. He was probably 8 inches long, maybe. And grabbed the snake and took off running. And all 24 chickens just running around the lot, trying to get a hold of that snake. Finally got it. Everybody's over there stomping the chicken out. They'll do the exact same thing with the chicken. I don't know what it is that they don't necessarily recognize, but it'll be a stomp and eat scenario. So we like to let them have time with the big girls, so the girls know they're there, they're used to seeing them, they're in there every day until they get boring, and then we'll kind of let them out. I'm not gonna have as much time for that, but also these are much larger than I normally let them out in with the other chickens. We'll have to play it by ear, because my brooder situation, you'll see when we go up to the coop, isn't much bigger than this. It's just longer than it is more square. This is 16 square feet, that's probably 18 square feet. Hi. Are you the same one that was just up here? Are we gonna be buddies? Are you gonna... Oh, she's gray. She's gray up underneath her feathers. I'll show you them a little more when I'm putting them in the cage up there. We can get hands on a few of them and show you their feathers. How about that? Come on, X. Psycho. Oh, you slow pacing me? Thank you. Appreciate that. Ready? You gonna wait for me or no? You gonna just straight up ignore me. Sit. Go. Welcome to the chicken lot for you noobs. Oh, this is a 12 by 24 basic Amish built storage barn that we bought from a lot. They haul it in, set it up, level it up. I cut 8 feet off of this end for the chicken coop. And then we added on 10 by 24 or 12 by 24 on that side for the old rabbit barn. So right there where the peak comes down and starts going that way is where the old barn ended in the front. Obviously you see that kind of right there like that, where it's changed, goes that way. That's the new portion of the barn. Chicken coop is it's just always got poop everywhere. I try to keep it clean, as is most things, but one of those things. Chickens poop, they poop inside, they don't care where they poop or what they poop on. I just cleaned this last fall, but they like to get up here and poop. I still haven't gotten this. I built that wall up there to keep the chickens from going into the tool barn side. Basically what I'm gonna do is this rafter right here is even with the edge of this shelf up here. You know, in my mind, this was all going to be nice storage for chicken food and blah, blah, blah. Until you throw a couple 50-pound bags of food up there a few times and then you're like, nah. So, food's in the trash can, sealed top chicken water so they can't poop in the water. It's a nipple system on bottom where they just come up here and tap the nipple and drink. Those work pretty well. As you can see, I have an extra bin here that I'll get out of here. This froze completely solid, and I could not get those nipples to unthaw without taking it in the house, running hot water through it. So I was running water up here during the deep freeze and just filling this up every day. These are real sturdy, heavy-duty plastic that you can just bang it around like that. The ice will chip, break, and then fall out, and then I was just refilling it with water. In the barn, for the noobs, we do deep litter method. We add hay from the bunny barn. We used to add more hay from the bunny barn. We're down to 3 buns right now. Only 1 in the barn, 2 in the garage. I have done a video for that, but I'll get to it. So deep litter in here is hay, shredded paper. We shred all of our personally identifiable information, and that comes out here and goes into the barn so it can break down. It also absorbs moisture. You can see this is, I know, ooh, he's touching poop, yep. So this is poop, hay, paper, and wood chips. Same as we use in the house, just the Bag-O pine shavings. And we just keep layering that in here. Nesting boxes I built, they work pretty well, but I prefer to have something where the eggs get away from the chickens once they're laid, because, so we line the nesting boxes with hay from the bunny barn, which is also obviously running out again because no bunnies, no hay. I'm gonna have to figure out another method for that. But if one chicken comes in here and lays eggs, another chicken comes in here just to lay on the eggs, they'll poop right in the box. It'll get all over the eggs, and then I just have to wash them, which sucks. Hi, ladies. If you guys watched during the summer, if you look under this is the brooder. If you look under that, you can see that nice lush green grass that the chickens can't get to. I was moving that around out here during the summer, so this entire lot looked like this. So what I was doing was I was moving this, I don't know what to call it, brooder, kennel, crate. I was moving that around this yard. So all this grass growth over here is actually where I moved this box and was able to keep the chickens from getting at it too much. It wasn't super successful, but quasi quasi-successful. This is our goat quarantine lot, for those of you who don't know. So 50 by 20 enclosure for the goats with the goat house right there. Little spool for them to jump up on and play in. Garden to eat out of. Right now, the gate for the chicken fence is completely busted. I don't know, I've never seen that happen before, but after the blizzard of 22, I came out here and all of this wire had just popped off from the other wires. So these are all, should look like this. This is the same thing that I have in the basement. As you can see, all the wires have just rusted and popped off. But I've had this gate up here like this since 2017. This was an old piece of a bunk bed. I just cut it off. I drove a pipe in the ground right there, so I can open this gate like that. Keep this gated off for the chickens. I think the baby goats had to go at this side of the fence. They might have even busted that, but it just now fell apart. I had to put this up here for now until I can get this fixed, because I think the boys, when they were over here, they got the rowdy and ripped my fence apart right there, so the chickens were just walking through that. So I've closed off this fence on this wall so that the chickens can come out here, but I kind of want them to eat out of the garden, but also be safe. We do have fox and they do like to eat the chickens. Haven't seen any this year. My neighbor back here, Joe, is awesome, and he expanded his fenced area to come all the way down to the creek line down there so that his dog can roam his yard. I haven't seen a fox since. Thanks, Joe. Hopefully that'll maintain. We'll see when spring rolls around, because that's when the fox get real hungry. They have babies that they need to feed, and chickens are pretty easy targets. So we try, and sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But today, so this is a natural roost, if you will. I used to have one more post on here. I need to get back on there. I don't even know what happened to it. And this guy I just screwed to the wall. I hope I didn't screw it to the floor. I think I did. I did not. So I just cut down some trees, some small trees down by the creek line that I didn't want where they were. I originally tied them together with twine, aka farm duct tape. Kind of see that there. But the chickens have a go at the twine. Their feet are pretty rough. They're little dinosaurs. And as they're roosting, you can see where they roost all along here, how it's worn smooth. They just wear through this twine eventually, and it breaks and falls. So I did have to go with screws to hold the posts on. So they have one over here by the window, which they really like the natural roosts. And then I have just some built-in roosts over here, which was an error, but I was brand new to chickens, and I need to get this corrected. From a chicken perspective, geez Louise, guys. I do clean stuff, guys. If you've ever, jeez. But they spent 5 days in here just chilling, and good night, pooping on everything. And we have 24 chickens in here just eating and pooping. I actually sanded everything in this barn down once, which took hours and days, and I come in here the next day and it almost looks like this, and I was like, screw that. What I should have done for these roosts as a 2x4 is turn them flat like this. Chickens in the winter, they're going to grasp onto this like this, and their toes are going to be sticking out down under their feather line, and then their toes will be exposed to the cold. If I lay this flat, when they come up here and they sit down like this with their feet, and then they'll just lower their body down onto their feet, and all their feathers will cover all of their foot, and it'll just be warm. They won't have any foot exposed to the cold. So I really need to lay these flat. They actually enjoy these far more than these, and they enjoy this up here, which is closer to the, warm air rises, so they're up here, which is closer to any warm air that might exist. So for you guys who are wondering, we were doing runarounds in the goat barn. It's 60 degrees in here right now, but during the Arctic blast of death, the goat barn had dropped clear down to, I think 8 degrees was where it had dropped, and it just stayed at 8 degrees. This building, much smaller obviously, also smaller bodied animals, 24 chickens in here, never fell below 40 degrees. And I wish I had got that on video, but I might have it somewhere. Maybe I'll just pop out like a quick, I think I did like a 5-minute, but man, it was like run out of the cold, take care of the animals. It was just around the clock animal care, every couple hours, refilling waters, chipping water, breaking water, bringing warm water. So videos obviously weren't my highest priority. Highest priority, keeping the animals alive, and we did that. We lost nobody. The one thing we did lose, 30 mile an hour sustained wind plus 40 mile an hour gusts. And I think we got a little tear, and then it just, as soon as you get one little tear in the greenhouse, it just falls apart. We still have the frame, so we'll have to see what we'll do there. But you guys know, if you've been watching long enough, we sold all of our rabbits, all of our cages, and now we have that other side of this building over here, which we can maybe use as a greenhouse, or we'll just rebuild this with like wood frame, maybe some cattle panels, and some really super heavy gauge plastic or something. I don't know about that one yet. So let me get this out of here and get the chickens up here before I run out of daylight. No, nay. That gives us this space right here to bring this brooder in. I kind of made this garbaged hinged lid thing, which is super cool to me at the time, but you don't think, you know, a 10-pound chicken would do too much damage. But I put these springs on here for easy closing, easy open. But the chubby girls, they like to just sit right here for no apparent reason, and since their springs have a little bit of give, you know, it stretches this down and then it's all bent. I have an old dog kennel in the basement, and I think I'll just take a piece of that and bring it up here. One thing I wanted to check was, is this already good enough to bring the babies up into? Now, of course, you're gonna always be at risk of any mice or lice or coccidia that might be living in this soil, because our girls are old. We've had chickens in this barn since 2017, and I do change this out at least once a year, if not twice a year. This year I was doing a little experimentation. I do like the way it held up. Like I said, it was still 40 degrees in here when it was negative 36 wind chill outside. That's very much good food for thought for me. But this year I was very much interested to see what would happen if I just left it alone. The chickens are always going to be adding poo, which is always going to be bacteria breakdown, kick off heat. They're always going to be scratching around in here. You guys go back and look at my Grubterra video. We throw Grubterra grubs down here. The girls would dig around in here. What I used to do was come in here with a pitchfork, churn all this up once or twice a week, you know, kicks off the breakdown process. But I've really been just utilizing the girls this year to stir this up. If you guys can see this right here, this pile of poop was actually taller than that, about up to here, and came all the way out at that height down to about where this light is. 2 days ago, I brought some grubs over here and I just sprinkled a whole pile of grubs in that corner right there, and then I also threw some of their food in that corner over there. Same thing over here. They've scratched it all flat, scratched it all out. We always get a little bit of moisture in here because these aren't perfect. They do drip on occasion, so this is wet. So I'll just throw some dry on that, and I might just throw some grubs on top of that area later, let them dig that around, spread it out, let it dry out. It's been a really amazing system, and I hope either this year or next year, summer-wise, that I can get a compost bin built out here in the chicken yard. There's some pretty cool ones online. I might take some of their ideas, adapt them all into one for me that I like, and utilize that. Get all the poop in there, use the chickens to stir it up, break it down, poop in it. And I know, before you say it, I know chicken poop is a hot poop and it can't be put straight on the garden. I know. Goat poop is not, and it can be, and there will be not enough chicken poop in the goat poop, and it will be fine. Let's chatty more movie stuff. Gonna grab that big crate, chunk it over here. So you guys know we make soap, and these are the olive oil containers, and I just cut those off, put them in here, use them for chicken food. Saves me a fortune. Okay, squirrel. So what I was trying to determine before I got off on a tangent about compost and mulch and deep litter, I wanted to see if this was dry enough to just bring the chicken straight from the house and put them right on top of this. I don't think it is. It looks super dry. If you're looking at that in the video, it looks just super dry, powdery. However, I can feel the moisture in that. There's a not a lot, but there's some moisture in that, which I wouldn't feel comfortable starting the babies out on. I will bring out some pine shavings and give them a good bedding pile before I bring them up. So, something very interesting to me, guys. Before I started throwing food down on the ground in here and forcing the chickens to dig through it, which is good for them. Chickens, you just watch out here. They dig around in the dirt. They try to find stuff. They pretend like they're digging even if there's nothing. They peck at the ground even if there's nothing. It's kind of an enrichment thing for them to do that kind of work to find their food. Keeps them, you know. Now remember, I just started a YouTube channel going on 2 years. We've had chickens going on 5 years. So I used to clean this out in the spring and in the fall. So I'd clean out in fall, usually around August. That way I would have time to start breaking down before September, October, November starts getting cold. So I would start building my deep litter method in August. This would be generally 8 to 10 inches thick in here, and I would clean it out and floof it up, and maybe it was just because it was fluffier. This is the most well broken down soil that I've ever had in here. Since we started using the grubs and using the food to force them to dig through this soil and churn it up for us, it's actually gotten lower in thickness. Where I would have been here, this was probably 8 to 12 inches worth of deep litter in here prior to the chickens working it. Now that they've worked this and I've left this in here to settle for the year, it's 4 inches deep and it's 1,000 times better. I mean, that's gorgeous. But anyway, that's me ranting on again. Squirrel! Oh, maybe we do it like this. Hope you guys can see that. Show you guys a few of these little beauties. Easy. Shh. Easy. So, these are kind of cool. Gold with the black. These are super awesome, beautiful. I'm not gonna know what any of them are, so this is the girl I really want to show you guys. She's got this copper wings out here, and then this beautiful silver. You're okay, sweetie. You're okay. And then it's kind of gold right here on the neck. Oh, your crow's nice and full. Look at that. That's just gorgeous. Okay, baby. You can't get out, girls. Easy. All right, well, get a hold of my hand. Get a hold of my fingers. There you go. Yeah, well, feel comfy. Kind of like the first one I showed you, but she's got this like marled feathers. They're like almost like a camo print of some sort. Gorgeous, and she's kind of gray underneath, but I think the gray will fall out. And then she's gold, obviously, as well. Her patterns are beautiful. And we have a few of these white ones. Some of them have more gray in their color than others. Copper and gray. Now this one is also white, but has some interesting red. She's probably just a crossbreed of something. I can't let, if you get loose out here, you're dead. That's the last one in this batch. Now this one has a really cool black and orange head, but it's kind of that same gray body. This is probably the coolest one. So pretty. Repeat. Couple of just, somebody got poop on your head. Couple of just straight up black ones. The cameras never show it, but there's some really beautiful blue hues right there on the end of the feathers. And last but not least, this little cutie. She has the greenish black legs, but she's got the really nice, just all orange head. Less black. Whew, I gotta step out, man. It is humid today. I think it's 60 degrees. It could be humid, but it is crazy humid. That's the chicks in their new home. I will bring up their water, their food bowl, and I will bring up the heavy metal hoses for now, just in case anybody gets any ideas. If they get out here, I don't know what the big girls would do to them. Even if the big girls didn't do anything to them, they would probably run them off somewhere, and they would be lost, stuck outside. So what did you girls find something? You're so cute. The greenhouse carnage. Such a muddy mess. But yeah, the chickens have All of that, everything over behind the greenhouse, all of that clear down to that fence down there where they can roam. Plenty of grass for them to eat, bugs to eat. Right now I think they're just picking. I don't see them actually eating anything. That's kind of funny. These girls are, I'm just gonna get this all wrong, so I'm not even gonna try to tell you what they are. Lavender Orpingtons maybe. Our big boys are Rhode Island Red. Those little girls might be Rhode Island Reds, like the one standing beside him, but I don't think they are. So this brown and gray girl over here is probably just like one of the ones that I was just showing you. You gonna come over here so I can see you? No, you're gonna run outside, aren't you? Look at her feathers. She's all poofed from the from the humidity. Yeah, guys, they have all this, and they're even able to get in the garden and dig around and eat anything that's left in there. That's chickens moved outside. It's going to be, like I said, it's going to be near 60 degrees for the next 7 to 10 days. Ooh, only lows only down in maybe around the 40s, which is, this chicken's just gorgeous. Right there. You are beautiful. You're all beautiful, but you're extra special. So yeah, so I'm not worried about them getting cold or anything like that. I just want the big girls to know they're here and get used to just seeing them and being around them. So when I do let them out, there's no real issue. It's just, hey, you were the little chicken in the pen. What's going on? This system has worked amazingly well for us for 5 years. I've never had a problem with it, and I don't foresee any issues with it now. So I'll let y'all go. You sneaking on me? Okay, can you see this chicken right here? Because she looks like the same kind of chicken as that white one right there. Interesting. I know for a fact the last time she got like lavender Orpingtons and bluebells and green something or anoters and purple something or another. So I know she got fancy ones last time. I just don't know what they are. Also updated, it's from Hoover's Hatchery. That's where we got the chicks. It was from Hoover's Hatcheries, or Hoover's Hatchery, or Hoover Hatcheries. I'm not sure which way it goes. And if you're still here watching, please hit the thumbs up. That tells YouTube that you like us and you want other people to see us. And somebody shout out Chick Chick in the comment.